Welcome to the Proboat UIM World Championship race here in beautiful San Diego, California. It's the final stop of the ABRA Envirofly Championship Series. Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Hendrick, along with Steve Montgomery. Not one, not two, but four of the fastest race boats in the world have a chance to win the honors for 2006. It's the closest race I can ever remember. And for more on that story, let's go down to Steve Montgomery.
The Oh Boy Oberto and driver Steve David have had a consistent, fast, strong season. Without winning a race, they have arrived here in San Diego with a small lead in national high points. Now let's look at the situation. These are the points after qualifying. Steve David's national high point lead has shrunk to just 238 points over Mike Allen in the FormulaBoats.com. And the guy that a lot of people think may leave here as the champion is the very quick Dave Villwock in Miss Elam Plus, who now is just 441 points behind Steve David. So everybody wondering here in San Diego, including us, Steve David, you have Mike Allen, Dave Villwock, Jean Theoret, Jimmy King. They're all fast. They're trying to catch you. Can you hold them off?
The Oberto's got some tough competition today, Steve. All four of those guys are dear friends of mine. We've had a great year. We're leading today. It's going to be tough to win this thing. We're going to give it our best. Whoever wins, they're all dear friends, and we're going to wish everyone the best.
It's a two-day event here at Mission Bay in San Diego, California. The boats are making their way to today's action. Let's take a look at yesterday's highlight.
Well, the Heat 1A, the first to go off, Jimmy King with piston power and Jeff Bernard driving another red boat. One of the former Miss Budweisers hooked it up in a great battle. As you can see here, Jeff Bernard had an early lead. Jimmy King coming around him on the outside in the only piston-powered unlimited hydroplane left in the field. This is the way they finished. Jimmy King picking up 400 points. Jeff Bernard in the FormulaBoats.com was second. So for Jimmy King, racing for Ed Cooper out of Indiana, a great start to the weekend.
Young Bernard did an awesome job on that start. Hats off to him and that Formula team. They made us work for it. It just, the boat Mr. Cooper and the guys put together, hard to beat it.
I did everything I could do that last lap. We're real close on end two, so had to be careful there, and it's real windy up the backstretch. And I did everything I could do to the starting line. He just barely got me. I couldn't even tell from the cockpit.
Heat 1B also run yesterday. A couple of the favorites taken to the water. Jean Theoret, that is he, far right. Dave Villwock in lane 3 here in Miss Elam Plus, and Mike Allen in the red boat. FormulaBoats.com, a former Miss Budweiser. This would be all Jean Theoret. He's a long shot for that National High Point Championship, but certainly a factor to take the race here this weekend. Jean Theoret picking up 400 points, and Mike Allen, very importantly, 300. He is one of the guys in that horse race for the National High Point Championship. Next up, Heat 2A, and you see another FormulaBoats.com entry out front. This is the rookie Jeff Bernard with rookie stripes on the cowling and the tail. Actually, they put those on there just so we could tell the two boats apart. Being chased by Steve David and the Oh Boy Oberto, and that's the way they would run for 3 laps in Heat 2A. First place to Jeff Bernard, second to Steve David, third to J.W. Myers in the U10, Designer Glass and Shower. Heat 2B, 4 of the favorites hooking it up. It promised to be a dandy, and it was. Dave Villwock, Mike Allen, Jean Theoret, Jimmy King. A perfect 4-boat start with Theoret on the inside, Mike Allen next to him, and then Villwock, uncharacteristically, back in 3rd place. They raced this way for 3 laps. It appeared to be a race between Theoret and Mike Allen, those two trading the lead back and forth several times, and then came an incredibly dramatic dash to the finish. Dave Villwock running 3rd with a quarter of a lap to go. He would slingshot around the 2 leaders and take the victory in an incredibly close finish in Heat 2B.
Well, we tried to pick our way through, and when the water started getting rough, you know, the Miss Elam just came to the front. So we just kind of tried to race the whole race, and, you know, I should have probably tried a little sooner, though, because I barely caught him.
You got the points you needed to stay in the hunt.
Yeah, we're in the hunt, and it wasn't looking good earlier, but we got some points, you know, good points towards the final, and it's a long race, you know, longer, like the Gold Cup. It's World Championship's a long deal, so you got to keep your head in the game, and the team did a great job that time, really great job.
Dave Villwock doing what he has to do to stay in that National High Point Championship. These are points on the weekend so far. Dave Villwock and Mike Allen with good starts to a long weekend of racing.
The boats are coming out of the Fiesta Island pits. on this beautiful saltwater course, Mission Bay, San Diego, California, where today the High Point Driver Championships will be awarded. The team championships will be also awarded for the right to wear the coveted U1 in 2007. We'll be back in just a moment.
The American Boat Racing Association's EnviroPly Championship Series for unlimited hydroplanes is brought to you by EnviroPly multi-panel interior and exterior building supplies, naturally superior. And by Oh Boy Oberto Beef Jerky. Taste what's real. It better be Oberto.
It's a beautiful day, a great crowd on hand, lots of action still to come. And now let's check in with the EnviroPly Insider with Steve David.
Final race of the season, San Diego, huge course, salt water, brand new this year for us with salt water. The Oberto set up a special equipment for this, as are all the other boats here. This race is the tightest of the year. Whoever wins this one wins the National High Points Championship. We're leading coming in, but who knows coming out. This is a big one for the Oberto.
Now let's check Heat 3A, and here's the way they're going to line up. 4 boats will be in competition, led by the Miss Elam Plus, the Oh Boy Oberto, Designer Glass and Shower, and Beacon Plumbing.
Can Dave Hillwalk and Miss Elam Plus overtake the boats in front of him in the National High Point Chase? Can Jean Theoret and Beacon Plumbing score their 3rd victory of the season? In between those two boats, you see J.W. Myers on the U10, Steve David way on the outside. We are on board with Theoret, who has lane 1 in Beacon Plumbing. One of the favorites here on the weekend, and not really in that National High Point Chase, though. Out to his right, you see J.W. Myers, and to the right of him, Dave Villwalk, lost in the rooster tail there in Miss Elam Plus. Now we're on board with Steve David, and look how he runs out of room. That's like racing down the hallway in the hotel, right between those big, tall rooster tails. That's a gulp of salt water as he goes through there, which can be fatal to a turbine engine. They're coming down now to the start. There is the clock ticking down to 0. It's a good start, and Villwalk has the lead. The bright orange Miss Elam Plus. Look at that boat ride on this saltwater, Jim. He's running like an Indy car, but that's a boat on an uneven surface. Water at nearly 200 miles per hour.
And he's running in the 3rd lane and doing a great job of hanging it on the hook. And look at that rooster tail come up. Inside is the U10, and in the way inside is the U37, the Beacon Plumbing, as they come down now, the back chute of lap number 1.
Look at Dave Villwalk's boat, that bright orange Elam Plus. Just a great boat ride, tremendous speed, and right now he's going to be leading Jean Theoret as they come into the SeaWorld turn once more and make the run down to start-finish. Let's listen to Jean Theoret and his crew chief.
He's still right there with you, John. Still right there with you, just to your outside. Just to your outside. J-Dub is back. J-Dub is back. Just you and Dave. Just you and Dave.
Jean Theoret sounding like he's in a blender, and that's the way it is, Jim, whenever we're able to listen in. What he said was, where's JW? Worried about the, big hop there for Dave Hillwalk as they came off the turn. So Theoret was concerned about J.W. Myers. Not a big factor here, but Dave Hillwalk certainly is, as we are on board with the defending National High Point Championship, doing everything he can to catch on.
Still right there, though. Still right there. Remember, you're getting to the wind. Ease into that wing now. Ease into that wing. Still right there to your outside.
Jean Theoret has run literally thousands of laps of boat racing, not intimidated by the fact that one of the best in the world is trying to run him down, and so far able to hold him off. Coming down now to finish another lap. They'll have 1 lap remaining in what's been a great heat of racing. It's been all Jean Theoret, but Dave Villwalk has been right there, Jim, for both of the laps we've seen.
And the speeds are really sensitive because they're on salt water. When they're on salt water, the prop gets a better bite and they can go faster.
On the final lap now, you're looking out the front window of Jean Theoret's boat. That front canard or wing is operated by his left foot. He controls the attitude of the boat with that, and right through here, he uses it to keep the boat on the water through a very windy part of the race course. This is what Dave Villwalk sees as he continues to chase Theoret, but he has not had the boat speed to run down the very fast French Canadian. Down the backstretch for the final time and into the SeaWorld turn. They will turn left and head for start-finish Will Theoret be able to hold off Vilwalk? A great shot from on board as Vilwalk comes out of the turn. Very, very close to the rooster tail. Actually caught a little bit of it there. They'll come down to start finish. It's going to be Theoret. Let's go on board with Sean.
You picked up a little bit there. You picked up a little bit there. About half a rooster tail lead. Half a rooster tail lead. Checker flag, buddy. Checker flag.
Little celebration there, Jim Hendrick in the cockpit. Fairly businesslike announcement by the crew. Checkered flag, a great run for Jean Theoret, holding off arguably the fastest boat in the world, Dave Vilwalk, for a great victory here in Heat 3A.
I'm going down to the winner's dock and see if you can pick up how they officially finished.
Steve David and the Oh Boy Oberto, a disappointing fourth place finish in that heat. And Steve may be seeing his dreams of a National High Point Team Championship slipping away. He is still leading in driver National High Points, however. Dave Vilwalk did not want to run second there. He needed the 100 points that you get for finishing first that you don't get if you're second. It's Jean Theoret in the Beacon Plumbing with 400. Vilwalk picking up 300 points. Jean Theoret, the world's fastest French Canadian, not in the National High Point hunt, but very much in the chase for the championship here. He's with Jim.
I'll tell you one thing. You didn't let him get on the outside and beat you this time, did you?
No, absolutely not. Thank God for a fantastic race. You know, the Beacon Plumbing boat is awesome boat ride, and this team does so much work, and I'm real pleased to beat Dave.
And every single point is so important now in this race for the world supremacy.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think a championship has ever been so close. So it's very interesting for everybody.
And so many that have a chance.
Absolutely. This field is outstanding. It's going to be really tough to say who's going to be a winner at the end.
Jean Theoret mathematically still in that National High Point race, but realistically a bit of a long shot at this point. Mike Allen, Steve David, Dave Vilwalk very much in it. More racing from them as we continue here. Next up, Heat 3B, followed by 4A, 4B, and the final. And at long last, we will know the name of our 2006 National High Point champion.
Welcome back to San Diego, California for the Proboat Models World Championship. I'm Jim Hendrick along with Steve Montgomery. And Steve, a great crowd on hand.
It always is the case. This beautiful Southern California weather, some of the fans getting a chance to get up close and personal with the drivers in the autograph session. Heat 3B on the water, the FormulaBoats.com team, both of them, Mike Allen and Jeff Bernard, will be racing with Jimmy King and Ken Muscatel. Mike Allen very much in that National High Points chase. He would like to come away with 400 points, Jim, right here.
The 1 minute clock is running here on the saltwater course of Mission Bay. The boats start going away from us for the first and only time during the year. They start on the back chute going toward the north. Now as the clock ticks down, the engines rev up, and we're about to get to the start, Steve.
And we're on board with Mike Allen. You saw him going by Jimmy King, who had the inside with piston power as they move through the SeaWorld turn for the final time. They'll head down to start finish. Coming up on the 10-second mark a little early. Now they can accelerate. 10 seconds. Jimmy King had to slow down, and the two FormulaBoats.com entries are going to go by him. But Jimmy will still have the inside. It's a good start for both Mike Allen and Jeff Bernard. Ken Muscatel on the outside is right there as well. So it's a good start for everybody but Jimmy King, who is not making the kind of a run in the first lap here that he would like to. Mike Allen needs the 400 points here. He's in that chase for the National High Point Championship. And he, Jim, is our early leader.
Yes, he is, as he comes down the back chute now on lap number 1 of 3 in Heat 3B here in San Diego. He's getting a pretty good ride.
Mike Allen, an odds-on favorite to be the 2006 Rookie of the Year out of New Orleans, Louisiana. He has done a tremendous job for Ted Porter and Mike Weber and this FormulaBoats.com team. They've been right at the top of the National High Point ladder throughout most of the season. You see him being chased now by his rookie teammate. Actually, they're both rookies. Jeff Bernard in the other boat. Mike Allen's boat does not have the yellow stripes on the cowling that they put on there for us and the spectators. Hopefully we can pick those up for you when we see the boats again. We're on board with Mike Allen. Nobody out ahead of him here in Heat 3B. His closest competition is teammate Jeff Bernard in an identical boat, one of the two boats formerly raced as Miss Budweiser's T5 and T6, now owned by Ted Porter of FormulaBoats.com, Jim.
We're on lap number 2 of 3. The smooth course is coming right now down the back chute, and they're coming right toward me down here in the pit area. Whoa! Did you see the air under that Formula.com U5?
Both boats flying, and we've talked about it before here on the broadcast. They come through an area right here where there is wind coming off the Pacific Ocean, past an island under a bridge, and everybody gets kind of light right there. We have had a couple of very unfortunate accidents right at that area, so drivers are always very careful there.
We've just completed the second lap. We're on the final lap right now with the checker flag waiting for this elimination heat.
So far, it's been all Mike Allen. If anything, a disappointing run for Jimmy King with piston power, always one of the favorites on saltwater, and he's back battling for third and fourth with Ken Muscatel. Now, oh, a big hop there by Mike Allen, our leader, but he keeps it under control okay. You see the second place boat, when you see it, will be nearly identical. They are former Miss Budweisers, now owned by Ted Porter, who also owns Formula Boats. Very, very spectacular entry into unlimited hydroplane racing. They've had a great season. 2 rookie drivers, and they are front runners, both of them. This one appears to be all Mike Allen in the U7. Right behind him is rookie teammate Jeff Bernard. In the other FormulaBoats.com entry, then it's back a ways to third place Jimmy King.
And the checker flag is waiting. He's off the final turn, off the exit pin, and here he comes to the finish line.
So 400 very important points for Mike Allen. He is one of the 2 or 3 boats with still a shot at the National High Point Championship. And Jim, this will mean a lot to Mike and that team. Second place will go to Jeff Bernard, third to Jimmy King, and fourth to Ken Muscatel.
What I love about it is the fans just love this type of racing, and the last 3 races have been very close competition. It's bringing the sport back to the people who love it.
And who'd have thought Mike Allen, a rookie up from the 5-liter ranks out of New Orleans, Louisiana, a couple of rookie mistakes, speed bumps on the eastern part of the circuit, but fast enough and consistent enough all year to be a contender for the National High Point Championship, would be in the position he's in right now. 400 very valuable points for Mike Allen, 300 for teammate Jeff Bernard, 225 for Jimmy King.
FormulaBoats.com, the crews are really busy right now as they come back into the pit area after both of their entries were out there in competition together. Makes for a very busy crew. Beautiful water, a beautiful day here in San Diego, California. We'll be talking to Mike Allen, the winner of this particular heat, when we come back for more action from San Diego, California. So please, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Proboat Models World Championships here in San Diego, California. I'm Jim Hendrick along with Steve Montgomery. 3B history won by Mike Allen. Let's go down to the pits.
I don't trust my math, but we believe that you are now the National High Point leader after that heat. One of the things you want to do this weekend.
I trust you.
Okay.
I trust your math. No, we knew we had to just pick away at this thing one heat at a time and let the chips fall where they may. We're going to do the best we can with every heat. Maybe a little bit of luck with some of the other teams. But 2 Formula boats out front's pretty cool.
Your teammate, most competition you had, that young man's learning that boat, isn't he?
Yeah, oh, Jeff is he's done an excellent job. It's only his second race, and you know, he's up front with the rest of these guys. It's pretty awesome.
2 more chances to score some points, but right now you're the lead dog.
Yeah, we'll take it any way we can get it. You know, we'll take it by 1 point. We don't care.
Good job.
Thank you.
The winner of Heat 3B. Now let's continue with the action here in San Diego for Heat 4A. Good competition coming up.
Our last preliminary, last chance to score points toward that National High Point Championship and the championship here. Dave Villwalk back on the water. Just about has to win this thing to have any chance, and he has some competition. Right next to him, you see Jean Theoret, the very quick U-37. Jeff Bernard, one half of the FormulaBoats.com team, will be out there with him, as will Jimmy King with piston power, expecting to have a great weekend here, not affected by the salt water the way the turbines are. So far, it hasn't gone that way for Jimmy, as we're on board before the start with Jean Theoret. Looks like he's got the inside again, Jim.
Yes, he does, and he's looking to win his 3rd race out of the last 4 here in San Diego as they come down for the start on the back chute. And look at that boat ride.
Out of the SeaWorld turn, these boats have pretty good speed build up as they cross the start line. Look like a good start Theoret on the inside, but Vilwalk appeared to be going by him, and there he is. You see Vilwalk out to the driver's right, and Dave Vilwalk desperately needs all 400 points here, and he is going after him. He has the Elam Plus out ahead of Jean Theoret. Theoret using the front wing to fly that boat through this turn. Can he catch Vilwalk? This is shaping up to be a very good heat, Jim.
Yes, it is. And on the inside, Jean Theoret, the Montreal Canadian driver in the yellow boat. And now look at the U1. Dave Vilwalk in the U1 making a good bid for the lead here on the back chute of lap number 1.
Dave Vilwalk doing what he had to do in this heat. Oh, Theoret brushed the buoy. He appeared to hit the course marker. He's okay if he didn't dislodge it. We will have to see. That's running a little too close, John. He continues to give chase now. Vilwalk opening up a little more of a lead as they come down to finish lap 2 of 3. 1 lap to go here. Remember, Vilwalk desperately needs all 400 of these points if he's going to stay in that national high point chase. Let's go back on board now with Jean Theoret as he approaches that buoy and actually brushes it. Now, if he did dislodge it, he'll be penalized, and he will not be the leader. We'll have to check it next time we come around to see if it's still there. Theoret continues racing. He has the inside, but Vilwalk a little bit of a lead as they come down the backstretch. Remember, we are watching from the backstretch here. You see Jimmy King out in 3rd place in lane 3. Vilwalk the leader into the SeaWorld turn. Here they come to the buoy again, which may have been dislodged. We're on board with Theoret. He goes by one buoy, goes by another one. Well, the one that floated way off to the left. There was definitely a buoy out of line there, and it caused a problem for Theoret. It looked like he might have hit it again. He definitely took on some water. I think he had to take corrective action because the buoy that he was lining up on had been moved. So he created a problem for himself in a couple of ways. He's going to be penalized a lap. He's going to be out of the heat, and Dave Vilwalk is going to cruise to a 400-point victory here. So a big story on board with Jean Theoret. Hit a buoy, then missed the buoy, then had to take corrective action, got into a rooster tail, and now is floating dead in the salt water here on Mission Bay. A big break for Dave Vilwalk and Miss Elam Plus. He needed 400 points here to stay in the heat, and it looks like he's going to get him. Jimmy King giving chase with piston power, but Vilwalk can cruise now with a half a lap to go here in Heat 4A to a very, very important 400-point victory. Into the SeaWorld turn for the final time. Dave Vilwalk out of Auburn, Washington, the winningest driver in the recent history of unlimited hydroplane racing. He'll cross start finish, pick up 400 points. 300 points will go to Jimmy King and the piston-powered U3. So Dave Vilwalk, Jim, doing what he had to do here, picking up 400 points. Mathematically, that should keep him in that hunt.
And Jean Theoret from Montreal in the U37 for the Shoemakers. Out of the race, or particularly this heat, because of hitting the buoy and then having a problem.
The good news is they had enough points to make the final, so they will be back.
We'll be back with more action from San Diego in just a moment. Welcome back to Mission Bay in San Diego, California. Jim Hendrick along with Steve Montgomery. We are now understanding that a penalty was called on Dave Vilwalk, some sort of fuel violation, which will negate his victory in the last preliminary heat. So the official order of finish, after the penalty, Master Tire with 400 wins the heat. Let's go down now to the pits and Steve Montgomery.
Many of the fans and so-called experts expected Eric Elstrom's Elam Plus to come into the weekend in 3rd place and leave with the National High Point Championship. What they looked past, Eric, was the fact that you really had to have almost a perfect weekend for that to happen, and that hasn't happened.
Yeah, you're right. It's racing, and you never know what's going to happen, and we've done our best. There's still another heat, you never know, but it doesn't look like we have a shot at getting it. I don't think the points are stacked, so we have no chance. And you know, we're going to go out here and swing the big bat, try to win this race, and it'll be congratulations to that team that wins the championship.
One of the nicer guys in unlimited hydroplane racing, Eric Elstrom. Now let's get ready for Heat 4B. Let's check the lineups.
The final preliminary of the weekend. After this, all that's left is the winner-take-all final. It'll be Ken Muscatel, Steve David, Mike Allen, J.W. Myers. A very, very important heat for Mike Allen. He appears to have the inside in the FormulaBoats.com too. Again, he is a contender for the National High Point Championship. We're on board with Mike. Just ahead of him, you see the tower right in the middle of SeaWorld, and that's why we call this the SeaWorld turn here on Mission Bay. Now they turn for the run down the front straightaway along the shores of Fiesta Island. Steve David out ahead of the field just a bit. May have to slow down, and as he does, Mike Allen is going to come by and take the lead at the start in the FormulaBoats.com. And Mike Allen would like nothing more, Jim, than an easy victory right here and 400 very important points.
Yes, especially for the team leadership and the World Championship, the right to wear U1 next year.
Out the front window of Steve David's boat, you see Ken Muscatel making a great start in the U2 Superior Racing. Muscatel getting a little bit of a rough ride there. Steve David want to stay right on his hip, but not too close the way Ken's boat is riding. And now Steve appears to be pulling up beside Ken Muscatel, but Mike Allen has it going his way. He has the FormulaBoats.com out ahead of the field here in Heat 4B.
And after these 3 laps of Heat 4B, they will tally all the points for the 2 days of running for this World Championship, and only the top 6 point getters will get the chance to run for the championship, and the winner take all checkered flag.
Riding along with Steve David, the veteran out of Lighthouse Point, Florida, in the U6. Oh boy, Oberto, he came to San Diego, leading in national high points for the team and the driver. He is seeing that slip away, and this guy, Mike Allen, may very well be the one with a leg up on that championship right here, particularly if he can bring in these 400 points here, then make a good, strong run in the final. Now remember, we could very well have a winner of this event who does not win the National High Point Championship. We have 2 different races going on here, Jim.
In the 2-day event, there were no less than 2 photo finishes with 3 boats with their nose at the finish line at the same time, and they had to take a real hard look. This is the greatest competition this sport has had in many, many years.
Stephen David running comfortably in 2nd place, but that's not going to do him a lot of good. The guy who has passed him for national high points, this boat right here, Mike Allen's FormulaBoats.com too.
We're coming up to the final lap of 3 here on the saltwater course of beautiful Mission Bay in San Diego, California, and the FormulaBoats.com. Mike Allen has a leg up, very close to picking up those valuable 400 points you were talking about, Steve.
The drivers consider Mission Bay a super speedway of boat racing. A perfectly shaped 2.5-mile oval. The very even saltwater, although you see a little bit of a rough boat ride here for these guys. You get up above 170 miles an hour, you're being buffeted by wind and water. Mike Allen using that front wing or canard to control the attitude of the boat. But this heat has been all Mike Allen and the FormulaBoats.com. The 400 points he's going to win here are going to make a major statement in that big story about the National High Point Championship. There will be some disappointment for Steve David and the Oh Boy Oberto, but Jim Hendrick, this team out of Madison, Indiana, with their 16-year-old boat, has had a season that is nothing short of sensational.
A great driver in a great boat from a great town, Madison, Indiana.
Mike Allen comes down to start finish for the final time. He'll take the checkered flag and pick up 400 points here in Heat 4B. He will move into the front row of the final heat as well and become a contender for the championship here, as well as the EnviroPly National High Point Championship. So again, a couple of stories still to be finished, but Mike Allen, a sensational rookie season. I don't think we have much of a question, Jim, about who our Rookie of the Year will be. He's led in national high points a good part of the season. He's been fast, he's been consistent, and as you see here, he has just picked up 400 more points.
And 2nd place, Oh Boy Oberto, 300 points for Steve David in that very important Drivers' High Point Championship, as Mike Allen makes his way back to the winner's docks in the pits in his FormulaBoats.com too. We'll be back with more action from San Diego in just a moment. And welcome back to beautiful Mission Bay here in San Diego, California, the curtain closer of the EnviroPly Championship Series for unlimited hydroplanes. This particular event, the UIM World Championship, is sponsored by Proboat models, and they're beautiful. They not only are replicas of the Offshores and the Unlimiteds, they've got all kinds of things. And this is the product manager, and his name is Mike Kellner. Mike, are these boats expensive?
No, not at all. These boats are very reasonably priced. They come included in radio, the engine's already installed. They also have the decals ready to go, so all you do is add batteries, run fuel in them, you're ready to go. Their hulls are made extra durable with extra layers of fiberglass so that they can withstand hours and hours of play from anybody, from young kids to older gentlemen that never wanted to build them when they were younger, and now we've got them ready to go.
Well, it looks like it's time to give Mike Weber some congratulations here as team manager for FormulaBoats.com. Hired a couple of excellent drivers. You come to the final heat of the season. One of them currently leading in national high points. So first of all, good job.
Thanks, Steve. It's kind of been a dream come true for all of us. It's just been a blast. The guys have come together. Obviously, Mike and Jeff are doing a great job, and everybody at Formula is proud of them. One more to go.
So now, Mike, one heat of racing left. You are currently atop the high point ladder. For a rookie to win the national championship, I'm sure you realize, would really be something. So what we want to know is, any strategy here, or do you just go to the front and solve all the problems?
Go out and do well and come see me afterwards.
Easy call if you have a chance to win the heat, but what if you are running second or third and you would have to push the equipment a little to get around somebody?
You know, we're really going to try and stay out of trouble, stay out of the salt, hold our lanes, and just get through this next heat like we have the whole weekend.
It's the season finale, the toughest, tightest races in the history of the sport. Anyone can still win. It's all up for grabs, the EnviroPly ABRA National High Point Driver and Team Championships, and also the coveted UIM World Title. I'm Jim Hendrick, along with Steve Montgomery. We'll be back with the final race in just a moment. And welcome back to Mission Bay in beautiful San Diego, California. The action continues, but a surprise visitor, Mike Reagan, the oldest son of our former president. And Michael, what's that on your head?
This is the hat for the strike force. It's on the USS Ronald Reagan down here. And I wear it as I wear the USS Ronald Reagan hat on a regular basis. So, you know, I'm kind of honoring the ship and honoring the crew who went out for its first deployment in January, came back in July.
And you are a boat racing fan. You used to race boats.
Yeah, you know that, Jim. I was racing boats back in the 1960s. Outboard world champion, inboard rookie of the year. 5 world records with Bernie Little as a sponsor during the 1980s. So, listen, I'm addicted to boat racing. I love it.
And we've got more coming right your way, so let's get to it.
The final field is set, and taking to the saltwater of Mission Bay, Steve David and the Oh Boy Oberto have earned a spot in the front row. They will be joined by Jean Theoret, Jimmy King, Mike Allen, Jeff Bernard, and Dave Villwalk. Ken Muscatel, the 7th boat in points, will be a trailer. He will have to follow the field down to start finish. There was Jimmy King pulling away in the U3. This is the way they will form up. The boats in the race for the championship are the Oh Boy Oberto and the FormulaBoats.com at this point. Everybody in this heat eligible for the winner-take-all final and the UIM World Championship Trophy. Remember, we're watching here in San Diego from the backstretch. These boats are milling. They're coming toward the pit area. Less than a quarter of a lap to go now before the start of this race. We have boats all over Mission Bay. Theoret appears to have the inside. The FormulaBoats.com team is in the middle of the field, way out ahead of everyone. Is that Villwalk in the Elam Plus? If it is, he's out in lane 3 or 4, not where he wanted to be. Steve David is going to be inside of him. Here's Villwalk, and you see Steve David going by about 10 seconds. Oh, Villwalk is slowing down. Something happened to the Elam Plus there. It missed a beat, and that's going to set him back at a time when he did not want to be going slow. Here's the start. Theoret on the inside appears to have it wired. FormulaBoats.com and Jimmy King with piston power, both making great starts as they come into the first turn.
Team championship up for grabs. Drivers' championships up for grabs. But no matter how many points you have, In this particular race, the first one to take the checkered flag wins this particular UIM World Championship.
As we have seen so much this weekend, Jean Theoret has the yellow boat. U37 Beacon Plumbing out ahead here in the winner-take-all final. Now, there are some big stories behind him. Steve David and Mike Allen are racing for position on the race course and for the National Drivers and Team High Point Championship. So we will monitor that as well. You're on board with Mike Allen. The only boat ahead of him right here appears to be Jean Theoret running on the inside. Dave Villwalk, surprisingly, and the Elam Plus not in the picture. So apparently they are not going to be a factor here. It's a long race, Jim. It's 5 laps on Mission Bay. Theoret has it out ahead, but a long ways to go. We're on board now with Villwalk taking on some water, and things just not going well for the defending National High Point champion.
Lap number 1, over 148 mile an hour for Theoret. He's really driving.
Villwalk appears to be slowing down. He is having problems with his U1 Elam Plus. Expected to be a factor here in the final. He apparently will not be. A lot of water coming up onto the windshield. Now, a shot of your leaders. That is Jean Theoret coming into the SeaWorld turn at the end of lap 2. Has a nice lead over the second place boat, who is Jimmy King with Piston Power running in second place. Then in third, it's Steve David and the old boy Oberto, and that's a big story. If Steve David can stay ahead of Mike Allen, he can win the National Drivers High Point Championship. And he would not have been favored to do that. Mike Allen has a faster race boat. So far, Steve David doing a great job of holding him off.
All right. Lots of ways it can go. We'll just have to see how it develops. We're on lap number 3 of 5 and on board the U7 FormulaBoats.com too.
And the boat ahead of him is one that he has to chase for the Drivers High Point Championship, which is separate from the team championship. Now, Mike Allen finishing where he is right now, his team would win the National High Point Championship. The boat in front of him, Steve David, would win the Drivers High Point Championship, and we are yet to know who's going to win the UIM World Championship, which is what this race here in San Diego is all about. Jean Theoret has that all going his way. He's way out to the right ahead of these boats and leading this final heat.
The crowd's on his feet. They know what's taking place. Mark Allen, our PA announcer, is telling them exactly what's going on, and everybody's excited. We're down to 3 laps completed and 2 more laps to go as they come down to finish up that lap here at the start-finish line.
And look at Steve David. He is giving chase to Mike Allen. He's running just behind him on the water, but he is giving that old race boat the run of its life. Our leader, no problems for Jean Theoret. The U37 Beacon Plumbing, owned by Billy Shoemaker, a former Gold Cup champion himself, coming back into the sport, buying Bill Worster's team. Winner twice already in the 2006 season, the prestigious Gold Cup in Detroit and the Seafair race in Seattle, going for their 3rd victory in 7 races. But Jim, they stumbled just enough back east that they are not in that National High Point Championship race.
And he's now averaging a little over 148 mile an hour on this saltwater course with less than 2 laps to go. On board, oh boy, Oberto, the U6, and you're right, this man right here, we're watching him drive, could win the Drivers' Championship with this finish right here today.
Steve David is giving the old girl the U6 out of Madison, Indiana, the drive of its life, as aggressive as we have seen him all season. There you see him flying that boat. Down the front stretch, Jean Theoret with about a 3 or 4 rooster tail lead over that race for 2nd and 3rd. Jean Theoret won 2 of his 4 preliminary heats, picked a great time to come up with a super heat. He's doing it here in the final, unlike his rival Dave Villwalk, who apparently is not going to be a factor. The final heat here, Jim, has not gone well for Team Elstrom, and in fact the whole weekend is really one they'd like to forget.
And the winningest driver in the history of this sport, Bill Muncey, is responsible for these boats racing here. He brought the sport here some years ago, and they are racing today for the Bill Muncey Cup, signifying the UIM World Championship.
Looking at our race for 2nd place with less than a half a lap to go, Steve David running on the inside of the leader's wake, and that may do it for him. You're on board with the leader coming down to start-finish. Thumbs up for Jean Theoret. the French-Canadian driving for Billy and Jane Shoemaker, the U-37 Beacon Plumbing. And they're going to win the big trophy, the UIM World Championship. And Steve David is going to take second place in the Oh Boy Oberto. That's going to give him the Drivers' Championship. Mike Allen will win the ABRA National High Point Championship. Jim, we have winners, winners, winners all over the place.
And we're going to be back with those winners down in a very happy dock here at Mission Bay in sunny San Diego, California after this timeout.
The American Boat Racing Association's EnviroPly Championship Series for unlimited hydroplanes is brought to you by EnviroPly multi-panel interior and exterior building supplies, naturally superior, and by Oh Boy Oberto beef jerky. Taste what's real. It better be Oberto.
And welcome back to the pit area of the Proboat Models World Championship here at San Diego, California. Here are our national high point results.
It's Mike Allen, the rookie out of New Orleans, Louisiana, the FormulaBoats.com 2, winning the National High Point Championship. Congratulations to Mike and the Formula Boats team.
Mike Allen, can I believe that your team is the world champion team and you came very close to taking the driver championship by just a scant?
You guys can, yeah, hard for us to believe too. This is amazing. Short period of time, Ted Porter and Mike Weber threw this team together, and it's just, it's incredible.
You did good, and your team is now has the right to wear #1 next year, and you came in second by just a little bit behind Steve David. A great year.
That's okay. Driver standing points, we're not that concerned about. Putting Formula out front for next year, that's big for us. Very big.
And the second big will be the fact that he's going to be the Rookie of the Year of the National High Point Championship as far as the driver's concerned. Very nice guy by the name of Steve David. And down in the pit area, Steve Montgomery is with that driver.
Well, you won. Might be slipping away, but National High Point driver still sounds pretty good. Congratulations.
It does, but I really feel I left my team down. These guys work so hard, and U1 was the goal of this thing, and so I mean, I'm glad to win the Drivers' Championship, but I owe these guys a national championship, and so they're going to build me a new boat next year, and we're going to get them U1, and I'm going to stick with them until we get U1, until we win the Gold Cup with this thing.
As close as you came with this old boat, you got to feel like you did your part pretty well, pal.
Yeah, I mean, you know, golly, 18-year-old boat, and we're running up here with all these hot dogs, but that is a testament to this team, to our sponsor, the Oberto organization that gave us what we needed to do this, and a tremendous crew, and Mike and Larry Hansen and everybody else in this team, man. It's a team effort. It shouldn't be called the Drivers' Championship. It should be a team championship, because it really was.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
And not to be lost in all that excitement, the winner of the event here this weekend, the UIM World Championship, the U-37 Beacon Plumbing, third win on the season for Jean Theoret, the fastest French-Canadian ever. He's with Jim.
They said it could be a trifecta. They won the Gold Cup in Detroit. They won their hometown race in Seattle. They finish up the season with a victory here, and it is the Beacon Plumbing U-37. First of all, the driver. What a great year.
It was an amazing year. No, I want to thank God, and I want to thank Billy and Jane for letting me the opportunity to drive again, and the Beacon Plumbing for sponsoring us. And this thing is amazing, and this is a team effort, and all the glory goes to all these people.
Jane, I know you're nervous. Let's let Billy talk for you. Billy, you've been there in the winner's circle as a driver. Now as an owner, it's got to be just as much fun.
You know, it actually is, Jim. I'm surprised with how nervous I get before Jean goes out in the boat. You know, I think we've got the very best driver we could ever have. And I know we have the best crew, and we have the best sponsor in Beacon Plumbing. I'm just real happy to be a part of this whole team.
Some of the closest racing in the history of unlimited hydroplane racings. Read all about it on ABRAhydroplanes.com. Jim, we've seen some great racing here in 06.
Yes, we have. It has been a great season in the EnviroPly ABRA Championship Series. On behalf of Steve Montgomery, I'm Jim Hendricks. Until next time, so long.